All right. So what up? It's B-Cide. I'm your rapper, author. I have multiple sclerosis. I live in a wheelchair with 24-hour care, but I still get shit done. Okay? So, everybody keeps asking me what famous artists have I worked with on lives and everything like that. So I tell them Rick Ross, Kurupt, Canibus. Yeah, I got features with all of them. But here's the thing, they're leased verses. And this is what I've learned from that side of the game. Let me explain to you what a leased verse is. A leased verse is just like a leased beat. A leased beat can be sold, well, leased to multiple rappers, and so you have thousands of rappers with the same beat technically, but hopefully never shall cross each other's paths. But sometimes they do, and people get confused. But that's been a big thing, leased beats in hip hop. So that's all right. That's actually an ethical thing. I've bought leased beats. I've used leased beats myself for a long part of my career. And that's just how I do it. And it's all right. Now I have been producing my own stuff. I have a producer. He's been producing stuff for me as well. So I'll explain what the leased verse is. The leased verse is actually a verse from a famous artist like Rick Ross or Kurupt or Canibus or people like Krizz Kaliko, let's see, Ritz. They've done Kurupt. They've done C Murder, Silkk the Shocker, all kinds of people that you can get these leased verses from. And there are these places, there are these producers, I call them producers because they're really just producing music, and they get a contract with one of these artists to come up with a verse that is able to be sold to multiple people. And what that's doing is fucking up the entire algorithm of everything online. What they have done is made it so now you can get a leased verse from Rick Ross. They are using verbiage from this man named Russell Brunson, who is the king of funnels. Now, a sales funnel is something that funnels somebody down from the top and brings them all the way down to the bottom to the final sale. But they use verbiage like they use psychological tactics to try and get you to buy things now. You know, it's a great thing for business. For what they're doing with these leased beats, making them sound like there's some big shit that you can't get anywhere else and you can only get them from this deal and all that other shit. That's just a bunch of bullshit. That's just them using these tactics against you to get into your head. Now, there are three big culprits to this. Now, one is Anno Domini, Anno Domination. They are fucking bullshit. I have dealt with that. I've gotten leased verses. They're hard to get put up through distributors. DistroKid is horrible trying to get up leased verses because they look at your plays in comparison to the famous artist plays, and sometimes that doesn't work. And then in the contract, Anno Domini will tell you to go through this specific distributor, but then the distributor, once you get signed up with them, they'll pull your music down and say that you've got fake plays, so they don't end up paying you anyway. At least that's what happened with me. So I went back to my old distributor called CD Baby, and I'm getting the track with Rick Ross back online. And it's ridiculous. But then the other culprit is this guy named D-Lynch. He goes around sending emails out telling people that he has these verses of artists and it's such a great deal and you have to act now or you're not going to be able to get the deal. But really, you've got a verse that's been leased out to thousands of rappers, and some of these rappers have just started their career. Now, do you think that a rapper who just started their career deserves to be on a song with Rick Ross because they spent $99 on a lease and are able to come out with it on Spotify? I don't think so. I don't think that's right. And then the other person who's a culprit of this now is a producer named Wyshmaster, Wyshmaster. And I like this guy as a producer, but he doesn't realize they're capitalizing on artists' dreams of working with real named artists. So what I propose is the artists should start coming out with ways so they can funnel other artists, independent artists, into their world and sell them exclusive verses to their own beats and their own shit so they can check out the artist and make sure that they're up to their caliber. Because Rick Ross wouldn't be doing a track with Joe Schmo that just started his rap career. That's just not how it is. So before you think about getting these leased verses, really think about where it's going to bring you in the scheme of everything. So do you really want to fuck with these guys where their verses are all over everything? It fucks up the Spotify algorithm, the Apple Music algorithm, all the algorithms, because it's got you with this artist, so it gets pushed out to the artist fans. So the artist is going to hear this same song 1,000 times with 1,000 different artists. How does that help you? I have a friend of mine, Evan, that's a Wu-Tang fan, and every time one of the tracks comes on with one of the Wu-Tang guys that they advertise for these leased verses, he's like, what the fuck is this trash? And he just skips over it. So that's what happens with the algorithms. So don't listen to these people trying to sell you dreams. Just do your shit. Just work shit on your own. If you're trying to work with another artist, try to get in contact with their management. Try to get in contact with them on Instagram, on X, on any social platform. Find their email. You can get a hold of these artists and spend the money yourself on an exclusive verse. And don't worry about these shiesty producers. They're not the way you want to go. And I'm telling you this from 25 years of record experience. You know, you might not know my name, but I have experience in this business. That guy Anno Domini has what they call a 2 Comma Club award behind him. And that means you've made $1 million on ClickFunnels, which means he's made $1 million from capitalizing on artists' dreams. He puts that up like it's a platinum plaque, but it's not. It's a 2 Comma Club award, and he fakes the funk totally. He is not anything like he says that he is. It's nothing but smoke in mirrors. And if you don't believe me, just go and get a leased verse and then see what happens with it. All right, yo. I'm B-Cide. Peace out. Stay strong. Stay wicked.